swap over here then, shan't we? And we'll get started showing off new pickups and stuff. Okay then. Hello, welcome. So, as you can see, I have a very big table covered in stuff. Lots of stuff. So, let's get out of the way. This one big box here. So, this was a Kickstarter award. This is a DRM-free version of a visual novel. This was the last Kickstarter reward, I believe. Physical reward. Other than that, I think I got two digital DRM-free games still waiting from Kickstarters that I kicked. Does anyone even really do Kickstarting much anymore? I haven't done one in a long time. I kind of got burnt out on so many of them fucking up. I mean, to be fair, I didn't really lose a lot in the few that went bad for me. Actually, most of them just, didn't pick up, so they didn't take money from you. I haven't opened it up yet, as you can see. I do need to do that, but it's supposed to be DRM free, which it better be, but hey. Anyway, so, of course, as I said, there's a bunch of PS4. We got some Switch, some PSP, some DS, one Vita thing, and a few other little bit more older things. Sacred, but then how am I supposed to play it? How do I go and enjoy the game, then? I mean, I guess I could get someone else to send me the DRM-free copy, I guess. But I have to get someone to do that. Digital it again. I don't even know if that would even become valuable, to be honest. I mean, I guess I could look it up. I don't know how much it goes for. I'm not even sure. I mean, it could be available somewhere else DRM free. I mean, some visual novels have been wandering over to GOG here and now. And with Steam being more and more anti-anime lately, what was that one game? There was a Switch version of a visual novel that's really dark that fucking Steam initially banned, and then the fan base fucking revolted against Steam, and they're like, okay, never mind, we reversed it, it can come out, please, stop, please. I mean, it's stupid to me. It's really stupid to me, a lot of the games that keep getting banned without anime. But anyway, though, let's get on. So what should we start with? Well, I'd say some PS4, since that's what we have the most of here. So let's swap a few of these over here so I can see some of this crap here. Yeah. So let's get a nice slice out of the PS4 cake, though. So, Ember. So I got this for like $7 off Amazon. But what did you do? Your webcam does work fine. See, my webcam is currently going through my capture card for my video games. It is not going through this. It's not going through this. It's going through my device for my video games. See, right now, I can't do any video games. So, as you can see, it can't work. It only works through my capture card. Anyway. And I don't even know if you can run two capture cards together like that. That could be what's overpowering it, possibly, too. Anyway, moving on. So, this was a cheap game I got off of Amazon. The best way I have to describe it is what it says in the back, firefighters for profit. So apparently this is supposed to be like Uber drivers, except they're firemen. So it's supposed to be a comedic thing, and apparently up to 4 players online. So, from what I saw, it looked kind of like a throwaway game. So, getting it for a few bucks seemed okay to me. So I went with that when I saw it for like 7 something of that. Tormented Souls. This I found very interesting because it is a tank control style survival horror game. Now, we haven't seen those in quite a while outside re-releases of older Resident Evil stuff. So, when I heard about this, I was like, ding, consider it bought. I look forward to playing that one day. Maybe if I get Darkwood here done, maybe I'll play that next. But to be honest, I wanted to try and get some stuff I have already things I want to finish, like the Secret Boss in Neo Automata, for example. Extra Odyssey 2, I want to get back to and get that done, because that's been rotting on the wayside for quite a while on that. So I want to try and get some stuff done. So, and it doesn't necessarily need to be October to play that, obviously. But, you know, that is a good time for it. But we got several things lined up for October here. So, you know, we got spooky wooky going on. Anyway, so moving on. One of the newer RPG indie darling games that came out recently. This title right here has exclusive content that's only on the console versions, oddly enough. So you're supposed to play like some kind of really depressed kid. So it's a RPG. I don't know much about the story. I just know it can go dark or light or something. Like, depends on your choices. I've heard good things about it. I've avoided spoilers like the plague. So, again, something else I'm interested in getting to play here sometime soon. Lair of the Clockwork God. I think this was like a kind of a side-scrolling adventure kind of thing of that. This was a limited one title, 2 different idiots versus all of the apocalypse. So, I don't really know much about this. It was a limited one title. The font reflects his depression well. Yes, I mean, if you were to look up random artwork or screenshots, you'll see the main character is very depressed compared to the other party members. So, I'm not really sure what's going on in that regards. But, yeah. So, moving on. I believe this was also a limited one game, Fiddle. Looks like you just fly around as a bird, don't know particularly everything you do, explore a vast open world, finding new songs in every nook and cranny, immerse yourself in that, so, So, looks like it's an open world board game, fly like an eagle. Then, here's one, so, America did not get a physical version of this, I can never fucking pronounce it. Fiddle is art called a game. It might be one of those kind of artsy games, but I cannot say this game like 99% of the times. There's like this 1% time I can sometimes say the title right. This is a yeah, that's why you all got physically. Toilet in German? What? What? I don't even know what to say to that now. Anyway, Toilet, the game. Anyway, so this is a re-release of 2 titles. The second one was originally a PS2 game, and the first game was originally a PS1 game that was a mix of 2D and 3D. But the version that's on this was a remake that was on the Wii that was modified more. So, the interesting thing about the Wii and the PS1 versions of the first game is the main character here is a lot shorter in the PS1 game, but in the Wii game, they modified him to be more similar to the main character of the PS2 game. But in this version, which it uses the Wii version as the base for the first game, we modified the main character to be the smaller version of himself. So there's a really good video on YouTube that talks about all the differences between the PS1, the Wii, the mobile version, and this newer version on the Switch, PS4. I think it's on Xbox, and it's also on PC. These are, at least the original was one of those kind of 2D, 3D platformers. The second game is just a fully 3D, but it has that same kind of environment of being in a 2D plane still, though. These are very beloved games, and a lot of people were very excited for this release. Physically, only came out in palette in Asian countries. America did not get one, so as far as I know, English exists on the Japanese version, so if you can't get your hands on a PAL version, that should still be good to get in Japan or Asian version, I believe. Double check, always double check. Double, triple, double, bubble check. Blade Kitten. Was that one Steam game you showed me before? I think it is. We got Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition of 1 and 2. I believe this was that notorious game that put in a bunch of anti-gamer stuff in it and got a lot of people wowed up back in the Gamergate days, you know, but anyway, and I did disagree with censoring. They put that garbage in there, and I did disagree with having it removed because that was garbage they put in there. I don't agree with censorship, regardless of whether I disagree with it or not. I didn't agree with it. It didn't make sense for the setting to be making jokes about gamers, but I think it should have stayed for representation of the dev team's scorn against people who like video games. But that's just me. So Monstrum. This is a game I saw Markiplier play a long time ago. I do actually have the Switch version. If you remember, I did get the Switch version really cheap. I did get this PS4 version really cheap. So I will probably trade or sell or something the Switch version. Because I do know graphically the Switch version is a lot more inferior. And of course, you know, you got trophies and little bonuses like that on the PS4 version. So when I got really cheap, I was like, oh damn it! No, why? Oh, I see you're apparently paying attention to completely different things than I am. But yes, this is another limited one game. So this is a very interesting. So this is the original Quake. Ported to modern consoles and stuff. What's really interesting is there's a new expansion in this, which I imagine is available on PC, but I don't know for sure. But yeah, there's a new expansion in this. A really old fucking... I mean, at least that's something to make it a little interesting for you to buy it. Yes? No? Maybe? Possibly. Anyway, I need a bazooka. Go making lots of money with old stuff. New trend. Nah, I pass. I picked the original. As far as I know, graphically, this is still a lot of the original. So you get the original and the new expansion pack, including Dimensions of the Machine. Enjoy online, local, and co-op. Ooh, I didn't know it was co-op. Nice. But I've never played the original Quake. I have played Quake 2 on the 360 because Quake, I think it was Quake 4 came with it. It was either Quake 3 or 4. Yeah, I think it was 4 because Quake 3 I think was on the Dreamcast, and that was just absolutely total arena shooter, I believe. If I remember correctly. Not Quake Export. Yeah, but Quake is a PC game for me. I can't imagine. I don't know if they did anything different for the console release. Like I said, graphically, as far as I've seen, it still looks very retro, so I don't know if they really did a lot to it. But yeah, it was originally a PC game. I believe Quake 3 was the first one to come to console. So, okay, Metal Dogs. This is a game by the company that bought FromSoft. Ooh. This is a weird rogue game where you play as dogs with guns and shit. It is absolutely bonkers. Wait, is that Does that say 24 frames? Is that a company or is it advertising the game as 24 frames? What? Why do buy any game, right? It's dogs with guns and sunglasses. How do you pass that up? Sounds hilarious as shit. I mean, come on. How do you pass that up? What's this? It says 30th anniversary since 1991. Wait, is this like an actual series? What? What does it mean, the actual, like, main cup? I'm not sure. I didn't notice that anniversary thing, but whose anniversary is it? It doesn't say whose. But, yeah, like, this is Japanese, too. There's no English on this, so. But, hey, it's a world game. You shoot things. Can it be really that complicated? Well, it could be, but Metal Max. Wait, is this part of Metal Max? Is this part of Metal Max? Actually, who owns Metal Max? Like, let's see. Didn't Marvelous do the localization on the newest Metal Max? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if this is part of that. Maybe. If so, I didn't even know that. See, sometimes you learn weird things you didn't know. Something I got cheap, I think it was like $10 or something. It's, Sniper Ghost War Contracts, limited edition with Sniper 3 Ghost Royal. It was like $10. A little weighty. I don't know if it got a heavy booklet now or 2 discs. Don't know, but yeah, it's supposed to be like 2 games, so I was like, $10 for 2 games. That's not a horrible deal. Not bad. Got to Destroy All Humans for like $10. This is a remake, remaster, some. I think it's more of a remake. I don't think they really touched up the original graphics. I think they redid it. I do have a few of the Destroy All Human games. I never really got through any. I think the one I played the most of was the one on the Nintendo Wii, which was a little bizarre. But, yeah. I heard these are pretty faithful. I heard the second one triggered a lot of people, because, like, the second one had, like, this really, what's a nice way to put glass figure, female human sidekick character, and I guess a lot of people were hoping that they would tone it down, but no, as far as I understand, they went like further with it, so that apparently pissed a lot of people off. So, but oh well, you know, who cares about them? They're just miserable people that are miserable about everything. Don't care about real problems. Anyway, though, moving on. Chivalry 2, I got this for $5 at Best Buy. Oh my goodness, there's a few titles it looks like they got all scattered about over the months, but there was one morning I woke up about an hour earlier than usual. I went and used the bathroom and I browsed Twitter and I saw Best Buy, like cheap ass gamer listed a whole bunch of crap. Best Buy listed for like $5, and they think it was an accident, because apparently that day they were promoting some kind of $5 off deal or something. So it was, most people think it was actually an error, but Best Buy doesn't usually cancel at least video game errors like that. But yeah, Chivalry 2, I've been playing it some. I have Chivalry 1 digitally. Like, I think I got on some sale for like $2. I was like, sure, I'll try it for $2. They all online only. You cannot play this in any capacity offline. So, and these kind of games, I tend to either try to trade in my packing material for, or get really cheap because, you know, they're limited time span. So, it is fun. I tend to go for like archery and currently use the crossbow. I'm not really good at the melee. It is a game where you need a lot more skill to survive well, but it is pretty common to kill 1 or 2 people and then die horribly. So, I'm celebrating it when clowns are triggered by artist creativity. Well, it's like jokes and stuff. I was happy that Stubbs the Zombie, for example, as far as I saw, I didn't see anything get censored in that, so that was good to know. Because, I mean, like, people seem really disconnected on separating jokes from reality. Like, it's like people are really disconnected from reality. It's just, And of course, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection that has so much retro Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles counting on. You know. But this has a lot of the goodies. It has so many versions too, and several of the titles, like Hyperstone, which I do own the Genesis copy of Hyperstone, is pretty pricey. The NES version of the fighting game, which I never knew existed for a very long time until I watched somebody do a video about the fighting game. And they're like, oh, by the way, did you know there was an NES version of this? I didn't. Which is also very expensive. And you get a lot of arcade versions. Like, this is a huge collection. And you get both the English and Japanese versions, which have a few interesting differences. Like the SNES fighting game that has a female fighter character, which I believe is from one of the live-action movies, I believe. She has a different animation in the Japanese version, interestingly enough. But anyway, fantastic. I did play a few of these with William when he came and visited me. We played through, I believe we did the arcade version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Then I think we did the NES version as well. We did Turtles in Time, and we did, let's see, I can't remember if we did, was it the arcade? I think we did the arcade version of Turtles in Time, and then we did the Manhattan Project. I believe were all the ones we played. So, from what I played, pretty solid collection. So, very nice. I hope we can see good stuff like that more in the future, because a lot of these companies have been really bad at these ports lately. Really horrible. I mean, I don't know if Pad probably heard about the company that does Disgaea NIS. A lot of those collections they've been doing, they are terrible. Almost all of them are broken. Basically requiring you to patch it, meaning they are versions that when the Switch no longer allows you to get patches for games will be all broken, and that's awful. I'm very upset to hear the third one also had, because I was really looking forward to the third one. Apparently the third collection they did, a different company was doing those, and I was really hoping it was going to do, because those were two of the really old titles that were in the, how should I say, legacy era of localization. So it was going to be interesting to see. And I have the original PS1 and the PS2 version of those two games, so I'm not like screwed out of that experience. But it's just a real shame. Real shame. Like, I own all those titles, so it's not a big loss for me. Like, all those titles in those collections, I own all of the original releases. It's just, you know, it's a shame. A much moderner, and like for like the PSP games, for example, you know, that's a nice new port and better looking graphics and shit. Broken. It's a real shame. How the fuck do you fuck up so bad? Can't even test the basic storyline to make sure you can go from start to finish. Like, it's such a joke. I only played Turtles for the SNES. Let's see, SNES got Turtles in Time in the fighting game. I think those were the only two, right? I don't think there was anything else. Yeah, it's sad about Nintendo, of course, well, with Switch games not being finalized. I'm all about it, but instead still buggy, requiring patches, and even mandatory fouls. The mandatory foul thing is something they're doing more with Western games. Bethesda's been big criminal with them. But, luckily, a lot of games still remain pretty beatable a lot of times. But still, yeah, there are those that suffer. And those collections NIS have sadly greatly suffered for that. It's a real shame. Moving on, though. This, I got cheap. I looked it up because I never heard of it. The Dungeon of Nilithibunk, the Amulet of Chaos Chicken Edition or something. I'm probably pronouncing that horribly wrong. From what I saw, this looks like a very interesting kind of D&D It's a ha-ha kind of thing. It looked very funny and silly and shit. So I got it. Looked. I definitely like the looks of the humor. Like it makes a lot of tabletop jokes and shit. Like a lot of fourth wall breaking shit and stuff. Like it looked pretty humorous. Whether it's fun to play, it's a different thing. Well, if it's time for Switch, yeah. Like, I would not recommend buying anything from Bethesda on the Switch, honestly. Almost like 95% of all their titles on the Switch either require a mandatory download or only, like, the collections, like, have 1 or 2 games and the rest are downloads. Don't recommend getting... Unless you don't mind that. Like, if you care about being able to play it 10 years down the road, because there's the possibility, like, Nintendo's notorious for killing its shit. Like, look how much shit it's constantly killing. It keeps redoing a new digital store. It's had the DSi store, the Wii store, the Nintendo Wii U store, the 3DS store, the Virtual store, and then that's not even going to the past when they had the Satellaview, and then they also had those disc systems that, they got rid of. And did you know, here's something that was interesting I learned one day. Did you know there was a system in Japan with a rewritable Super Nintendo cartridge that you could mail to Nintendo and have different games put on it that they had? Well, actually, originally it had kiosks like those, like the Famicom discs. But after they got rid of the kiosks for a while, they supported it through sending it to them and then discontinued it. But I mean, they had so many different systems, they've just fucking, like, it's just such a joke. Like, look, some of the older ones are just adding on to the PAL, but honestly, from the Wii to now, there should not have been separate fucking stores for the retro shit, at least. Like, buying digital, like, the actual console's digital things are one thing. Like, having the Wii and Wii U stuff carry over. That's a different argument. But all the retro shit should have just carried over. But nope. Because that's going to be less money. Anyway, moving on. Welcome to the Slavecation Paradise. This is a weird, violent game that I just bought with some stuff with Video Game Plus to get free shipping, but it looked like some silly fun that... Definitely not a serious game, though. Then, let's see, this is a Wet Art game, I believe? I believe this was a Wet Art game. It's a shmup game. IAI. Don't know if Pad's in the hole of that. Probably not. Probably just a random indie game. This, I believe, is also a Wet Art game, but unlike some of Wet Art game, this looks actually pretty interesting. Mayhem Brawls. It is a, like, Streets of Rage kind of beat 'em up game, so it looks pretty decent. Definitely looking forward to trying that out. That's probably one of the better looking Wet Art games. Again, Wet Art games has been picking up some nicer stuff, so let's see, Arcade Paradise. This sounded really interesting. This was a limited one game. So, from what I understand, this is a simulator game where you turn your father's laundromat, because he has, like, left on business, into a arcade. And you can get, like, actual full games. Let's see. I believe it says there will unlock over 35 fully playable arcade games. And there will co-op play local co-op with up to 4 players. So it sounds interesting. You manage an arcade and you can play arcade games. So it sounds like an interesting idea. I don't know if any of it's good, but hey, I do like some games where you simulate winning a store. Quite fun. So I look forward to giving that one a try. Soul Hackers 2. I'm sure a lot of people noticed Soul Hackers quickly went down to $39.99 sales very quickly. I heard this did not sell very well. A lot of people apparently did pick it up for the $39.99, but a lot of people skipped out on getting it full price, sadly. I don't know if right now it's still cheaper or not. I don't really know anything about Soul Hackers 2, so I don't really know if it's good or not. I've heard a little bit of criticism, but haven't really heard a whole lot of discourse about it, so I did hear it does continue Atlas's horrible DLC practices, though, which is, of course, still very bad. Gas station simulator, I don't know about that. Might have to be a little bit creative to get that. And, of course, you know, we're playing Sophie 1, and I do got Sophie 2 now, which came out. And I do notice our favorite book Kyoto is on there, and actually it looks like she's still wearing the same outfit too, actually. So, but so get Sophie 2. It'll be interesting to see what the town and stuff is like, because Sophie 1 was a PS3 game, so you know, this being a PS4 game, you know, and it was an early PS3 game, so it'll be interesting to see the difference in a lot of the time between those two. Resident Evil 5 for the PS4. So you might be curious why the fuck I got this, because I do have Resident Evil 5 beaten and own. That is because I have the original version. I never played through the DLC. And I've always meant to get a gold copy. But this was really cheap. So I was like, why not? Because, you know, it's a newer version, so there's more likely to find people who can play with. Maybe I can do a playthrough with someone or something. Maybe even we play the original game. That part's kind of iffy, but hey. But like I said, never played through the DLC, so now I can do that. Yeah! Then the sequel to AI, which I still haven't played the first one, which was this by... I'm trying to remember. Was it by... I think it was by the Danganronpa creator, right? Was it Danganronpa or the guy who made 999? Can't remember. One of them had to do with this series. That so had a sequel. Haven't played the first one yet. They've been pumping out a few of their own titles. I still have to play that World End Club game too. You know, that came out and I heard like virtually no one talk about it at all. Like nobody. So I don't know if that means like people were just being really tight-lipped about the story, or whether it was really bad. I don't know. Anyway, we got a good chunk of PS4 there, so I think it's time to give a little highlight to some of the other stuff. So, oh deal. We lost one. Can I get it? Yep. Yep. Of course, it's one that has a broken case. Which I have to give it a new case, sadly. So, nope. So, let's go through a few Switch things, and then we'll do a few other things and go back some game bowling. No game bowling. So, let's do about half the Switch stuff. So, let's see. We got Overlord, the escape from Nazwick. So, I'm not familiar with this anime, but this is a Metroidvania game. This has English in it, and oh, look, it's that company that owns FromSoft. Ooh. Heard good things about this, so pre-ordered the copy, and just got recently. I had pre-ordered for like a half year with something else that was waiting to get sent. Oh, is it bad? Really? Is it bad? I've heard some people liked it. Really? Willy. I mean, graphically looks nice. Of course, graphics on everything. Well, that'll be interesting to see, then. I hate this anime Overlord so much. It was nice at first, but he became such a monster in the later seasons. I don't know much about the anime. I've seen a few clips of Will, like, there's, like, some succubus-like character that, like, really wants him or something. I was really looking forward to it, but it sucks. Ooh. Pad's not a fan of the game, is, but Well, I'll have to see when I get around to trying it, hopefully one day. One day! Ah, boy, Jimmy, I think I finally just retired. Now I can play my backlog. Code of Princess EX. This was originally a 3DS game. This is considered a spiritual sequel to, Pad probably can remember the title. Does it mention it on the back? Guardian Heroes, that's what it is. This is considered a spiritual sequel to Guardian Heroes up there in the corner. Which was this really interesting beat-em-up type game on the Saturn, which is very expensive the last time I remember that. So, this was originally a 3DS game. It's on the Switch. Graphically, it doesn't look crazy, but hey. And actually, recently, they just put out a new version of that comes with a keychain and stuff. So, there's more copies of that. More copies. Towards Heartless, more or less. Well, I mean, it is a Overlord, ain't he? I mean, shouldn't that have been kind of expected? So, here's a really odd title that had a lot of drama about. So, to go a little bit about Super Whale Games, this isn't a Super Whale game, just to make that clear. But Super Whale Games did a release where they originally announced a game that would not be available digitally and only physically. And that caused a lot of drama, and a lot of people were like, boo, 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 because, you know, we like physical, but that doesn't mean we want to limit the availability of the game. We want to preserve the game and have it be capable of being played in the future, but we don't necessarily want, because there are good things about digital, too. DRM-free is, of course, the best, but it's also a cheap alternative to games like something, oh no, it's $500 on eBay now, but it's like $5 on PSN. The pixel art is blurred, it stutters a lot, the images are too dark, and the stage design is pretty bad. Ooh, that's a lot of harsh criticism. Ooh, deal. Ooh. But anyway, Demon Throttle here, which was by Digital Devolver, which is the company that owns Special Reserve Games, which is another limited company. So they announced Demon Throttle was going to be a physical-only game. Same thing happens again. A lot of people complain because they didn't want it to be limited. Though they did it very differently. They stayed silent and said literally nothing for a long time. So it looked like this was going to be a physical only. And that is still remains. This is apparently still, as of now, physical only. This is not available digitally. Now, what they did, however, is they changed it where they were going to release this through retail, have more copies and stuff, so that way it wouldn't become hard to acquire. So scalpers got super pissed because, you know, they fucking stocked up, so they got a big fuck you. Because it's like, oh great, my 200 copies are worthless now because it's going to actually be at retail. So a lot of scalpers got pissed, but I say fuck them. That's you know, that's the choice you made to buy a whole bunch of that, you know. Yeah. Most of us were pretty happy to hear about getting a retail version. I think that ended up being better. So, it'll take a lot longer for it to become hard to get. But still, I don't mind getting a digital version. But, and with that title that Super Whale Games did, they did say they were going to put on, what is that? Ichigo? It's like an indie DRM free storefront. It's like Ichigo. I'm trying to remember how you pronounce it. I don't go to it super often, but there are a few titles that you can get DRM free on there and not anywhere else. So it's always a nice alternative to that. But this is a music game here. It got a reprint. I didn't get the original release, so I grabbed this when it got announced. Yes, that. That's it. They did announce the title that they were going to do would get a version on there. So, Calm the Masses. So, here's an odd title. So, this is a collection of 3 bizarre games. That apparently a series of that. It was, I think I got Play Asia that I don't really know anything about, to be honest. But it was on sale, and it's 3 games. It was an okay price. I think it was like $19 of that, so I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Because I think it was like, I think it's normally $39.99, so I was like, sure, why not? Speaking of Super Whale, here are 3 of Super Whale's newest bundle. So, again, I hate this bundle system, but it saves you on shipping. But sadly, it's been a while since I've had this happen, but they did a game that is all the way on other stuff. So, Strange Brigade, I do have a PS4 version of this I got for really cheap at Walmart. So, I was sad to see this, so I will hope I can break even on selling that to someone or something. But the other 2 games that were in the bundle, let's see, Never Yield. I'm not sure if I remember looking at the gameplay of that. And Webbed. This actually looked like a fun little teen little game. But yeah, so if you're not familiar with how they do these bundles, so basically when they do a bundle, they'll announce the new one of the first one of the bundle, and the other 2 remain mysterious. Ooh, they're unknown. But if you buy it now, you know, you can guarantee you get all 3, and you can save shipping instead of paying shipping for each one. And this is a European country, and oh boy, they jack up every. They went from being like 30 euros for release, then like 32 and 34. They're like up to 39 euros for release now. Stop jacking up the fucking price. Fuck. Please. It costs so much to buy those shit. And the shipping is expensive. That's why I buy the bundle, because fuck. But sometimes they have some really nice titles. So, that's the thing. It sucks. But anyway, let's show up a few other things. So, we got PSP. So, let's go ahead and kill off PSP. So, a lot of these are PAL except for one. So, we got Gladiator Begins. Like I said, I need to get a new case. But this was a Axis Games release. Man, it's been a while since I've seen, like, Axis has been doing a lot of niche visual novels lately. Has Axis Games even had anything big come out recently? Man, it's been a while. Like, what's the last big release they even had recently? Like, I feel like I haven't seen an Axis game in quite a while now, really. Like, fuck, I'm trying to remember the newest thing. Well, Exy does Guilty Gear now. Because you see, like, Marvelous basically sucked in all their stuff back. So, I mean, they don't have Guilty Gear anymore. Marvelous does that, just like how they took Harvest Moon from Hatsumi. You know, like, they're like, well, we got our own fucking American branch now. Get them to do this shit. So, I mean, yeah, other than some visual novels, and I mean, like, the last big one I remember was, like, you know, the 999 series. Like, I do know a recent one they had was one of those visual novels aimed at girls, you know, well, it's, you know, more romancy of that. I'm trying to remember the terminology for those kind of visual novels. But, yeah, I don't really remember any, like, big Axis games in a while. It's kind of shame. They had some really good localization. I'm not really sure what fucking things they've really even been up to recently, other than that one visual novel, honestly. Dang. Anyway, so, I went after some PSP stuff I haven't had. There was White Knight Chronicles Origins that, for some reason, we never got in America for the PSP, but PAL did. So I was like, oh yeah, I forgot this existed. I better buy it before it becomes really fucking expensive. And then also I picked up the Monster Hunter Freedom games on the PSP, which I had never touched. But recently, you know, I did play Monster Hunter Worlds. I'm still trying to get a copy of Iceborne, hopefully kind of cheap, because I do want to go through that, and I might try and revisit some older Monster Hunter games, because I've been a little, you know, it kind of eased me in a little bit. Maybe it'll help me kind of get into it a little bit. Maybe, possibly, could be. The only Xbox One title here, State of Decay 2, got from GameStop. They had, GameStop is on massive clearance on a lot of shit right now. They have a lot of dump bins full of action figures, plushies, games, and shit. And all the stuff's probably scattered, but they had a bunch of crap for, you know, $4. Pick 4 for $20. So, you know. And I think it was anything that was $9.99 and under. So, I don't have State of Decay physically. I did actually have it digitally on my Xbox One to play with a friend. Because you get all the DLC and all that kind of crap with the download version. So, yes, I actually played it some when I was testing it out. Well, I have still yet to do a actual Xbox One game on stream. I wanted to do Dead Rising 3 last year, but some business wanted me to work 60 hours all fucking last year, you know. So that kind of became kind of hard to do. And then my other thing where I wanted to do a big Shantae, like play all the Shantae games, that got fucked up too. So it's like, fuck. So I do still want to do Dead Rising 3. I was kind of debating about maybe doing it this year since, you know, I am free, but I have this medical shit going on, so I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll just give up trying to do it for October or Black Friday and just fucking play it. So, anyway, let's go back to some PS4 stuff. Slice through a little bit more of that. So, we got, during Memorial Weekend, which was the day I took William back to the airport so he could fly to New York. I stopped by the stores in the area that were having Memorial sales, and I was surprised to find Doctor Who: The Edge of Time VR there. This was a PAL only physical, I believe. I don't think he even got a Japanese physical, I believe. So I believe it's 2 Doctor Who games, I think, on it, or maybe it's just 1, I don't remember. But I do remember hearing about this when it came out, so it was nice to get that out of the way without having to do import fees or anything like that. So, and this I've actually had for a while. Oh, dang it, loose disc. Why is it always loose discs? I'll have to get that fixed. Anyway, I've had this for a while, actually. A friend of mine grabbed it at Walmart back up where I work, because, you know, I drive about 30 minutes to work. He let me know he saw it on sale for $25. I was like, sure, I'll buy that. So he bought it, and I gave him the money of that. So I've had this for a while, but I kept forgetting to set it in the pile to show off. So here we are. So I'm excited to try this because I've never played the replica version. For a long time, I've debated about getting the PS3 Japanese version to play the replica. But you know, you got this version now, so. It'll be really interesting to compare some of the things they changed. And there's supposed to be a little new added content in there that I'm looking forward to looking at. I've avoided spoilers like the plague, and so far I don't know anything about that, so that's good. So hopefully that'll be a surprise. Let's see. This was also from that GameStop. What the? I thought I took all these off. Fucking stickers. They can't even put it on white. It's just completely fucking diagonal. Oh no, there's a fucking hole there. Bastards. Never take care of fucking anything they do. How have people... These are war crimes, I tell you. It's just white there. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, you can see it underneath the little lip there by the disc. Damn it. Oh well. Not exactly a game I'm too crazy worried about having a little hole in it. But yeah, this was like $5 or something, and the you know, buy 4 get for $20. Rainbow Siege, I heard, pretty alright. I don't know if it does it let you play offline. I don't know. See, it says online optional with that, so I heard it's a pretty fun game. I heard that, so you know, I was like, sure. I've been meaning to get that cheap of that. So let's see. This was a strictly limited game. No heroes heal. I don't actually know anything about this game. This was like a much like this has been waiting on hell. See, it has up to 4 players. It has online and that. It looks like you like go through like a castle and shit. So it doesn't look necessarily absolutely crazy, but it looks like it could be something fun maybe. Let's see. Then this was another one from that bin at GameStop. Shadow of Mordor Game of the Year edition. Now I believe I have both the Mordor games now. See, this was this the sequel or was this the first one? I think this was the first one. I always get confused between the 2 fucking titles. But I believe I have both of them now. The first one was really good. The second one had a lot of no heroes heal reminds me of Terraria. Terraria. Now here's a game that might utterly confuse people. Why in the world do I have Hotel Transylvania 3 Monsters Overboard? Why in the world would I buy a movie license game? Now that's not to say there's never been good movie license games, but exactly, you're asking why? Why? And I will tell you. Because it's Pikmin. It's Pikmin. Yes, if you did not know, I didn't know until I watched a random YouTuber. It had this clickbait title. It's like, oh my goodness, it's a Pikmin style game. And it didn't tell you the game. You had to click on it. And it's like, you know, you've probably seen this game in lots of dump bins. Now, what if I told you this was a Pikmin style game? Then I'm like, wait, what? Yes, this plays like a Pikmin game. So I was like, well, now I'm interested. Because there aren't a lot of games like Pikmin. Yeah, I mean, you got the Little King story, and anyone else want to throw anything else out there? Because I don't know. I think at the back of my mind, there's like one other thing. It's like, hey, you're forgetting me, but I can't open the door and remember what it is. But yes, this is a Pikmin style game. It's really weird. So I was like, sure. I got this for $4 off of deep discounts. So yeah. I was like, sure. I put it down my radar if I find it cheap because it's a movie game. It was obviously gonna become really cheap. So I was like, $4, sure, I'll do that because it's supposed to be a Pikmin style game. So yeah, I was kind of like, holy shit. Hopefully it's somewhat decent. I hear the camera's kind of but hey, you know, you get what you get. Speaking of something else I also got from deep discounts, I think this was $5, was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the Star Wars Dark Souls game, which I hear for the most part a lot of people said was pretty good. Is this wait, this is a Blu-ray case. Those fuckers put this in a Blu-ray case, not a PS4 case. Those fuckers. I was really bastards. Yeah, because see, you can see the artwork's a little wobbly, and I'm like, wait, this feels a little thin. And it's like it's a Blu-ray because the artwork is sticking out of plastic. Fuckers. Well, I can get a replacement case for that. That's fine. At least the cover ain't damaged. But yeah, I heard this was an okay game. It apparently had a few bugs, but for the most part, I heard it was pretty well received. So I got it cheap. So yeah, I miss at least PS3. Like the metal inserts in these cases are fucking awful. They're awful. I've had so many of these discs fucking fall out. The fucking PS3 ones were like fucking Fort Knox holding onto the fucking disc. No! I've never seen a fucking PS3 game rattle around. So, Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. Anyone want to take a guess why I got this? I'm sure someone out there can know why I got this. Does anyone know? Anyone? Anyone want to take a guess? Now, I did have this on PS3 several pickup videos ago. Some you might remember, I had a giant stack of PS3 Assassin's Creed games that I didn't have, that I traded all my packing material. It's right there. Right there. If anyone remembers, Ubisoft was removing a lot of DLC and crap, so there was the inclusion of that storyline that comes with this version, so that is why. Then here's an actual newer pickup. This is also a strictly limited game, Zero Tolerance Collection. So I believe these are Sega Genesis games, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I believe these were Genesis games. So there were 3 games. 2 of these actually came out, and one of them is apparently an unreleased game that never got released. So they're like first-person games. I never heard of them, to be honest. Maybe someone out there has. I never heard of them, but hey, I was like, you know, I'm always down for a few retro games, and that it's always sometimes nice to explore the days of the old. But yeah, until that, I've never heard of them. But apparently, I actually watched somebody recently who was doing, like, you know, a talkie video with random gameplay, and actually had one of those titles playing. I was like, oh. But yeah, I just got that yesterday in the mail, so literally brand new out of the mailbox. Speaking of brand new, I got lucky. So Walmart had a bunch of these for like $2 something, and they traded in for like $8. So I think it was 4 copies. So traded those in and kept one for myself. Now, what's interesting to note is, okay, that's backwards, so good. So inside here is just Sims 4. So the Star Wars thing is a code. So they got traded in as Sims 4. So kind of weird. And luckily I did that because apparently, so here's something interesting that's apparently happening with Sims 4. So apparently EA is going to give Sims 4 away for free on everything. But you have to buy all the digital shit if you want any of that stuff. Interesting move to, you know, give base game for free and cash off. Because Sims 4 is pretty old now, so they're probably trying a different market ploy to get some extra sales out of it. Interesting idea. So these are kind of worthless now outside of, you know, down the road when all the digital stores that had it are gone. Other than that, it's currently kind of redundant. But hey, you know, works for me though. So, and another Asian release. So this, I don't remember how to pronounce it. Shit. It doesn't have it in English anywhere, and it has this card thing on it. This is a kind of a, I don't know, I've had this described as basically Witch Souls. Like, you play as like a witch in a kind of a Souls kind of gameplay or something like that. It looks good. I wish I remember what it was in English, because it sadly doesn't have it anywhere. But, yeah, I'd have to look it up. But, I pre-ordered it. It looks nice. Should be a fun game to play through one day. I truly hate. Excuse me. I truly hate such combo boxes that put games together that aren't related to each other. I accept it when the games are connected to each other, a series, and I want to all the content physically. I hate download lose it content. Exactly, I hate lose it content. Now, as for being related, I mean, Sims is supposed to emulate us, so I mean, it's just basically, instead of making a spoof of Star Wars within the universe of Sims, it's just actually using Star Wars, so it's kind of, it's just kind of cash cowing it, hamming it in, milking it in, but, anyway, so, we got another stack there. Let's move on, because this is getting going, so let's start. Townsmen, the kingdom we built, complete for the Switch. This looked like it's kind of like a castle city management kind of game. Looks very nice, so I snagged a copy on PlayAsia when it was on sale. Finally some Switch, a system I have. Hey, I did some Switch. Speaking of the Castlevania stuff we went on, another Castlevania game, Castlevania style game that came out on the Bullet Hell series. This is supposed to have some elements. It has some really dark artwork of the Kaidos too. How you pronounce it? Toei, I think is how you pronounce the series stuff on. I've only played a Metroidvania style one that was on the PS4. It was a bundle game with another entry of the series. But this is a Metroidvania style game with them. So here it's pretty hard too. So wonder what Townsman is. Of course, you can always look it up. But like I said, it's a management game. Sadly, the below text on the back is all in Japanese, but it does have English. This version does have English on it. Can we get a little? Screenshots might be a little hard to see, but it is a management game of like a medieval city that kind of like a real-time strategy kind of look to it. But I don't know if you fight like actual like enemies in it like RTS. I don't know. Let's see, Dusk. I believe this. Yeah, this was a limited one game. I think this is like a FPS game. Let's see. Welcome to Dusk. Things have gone. Battle Killer. 3 episodes filled with 35 levels of action-packed. Yeah, it's an FPS. The screenshots are dark as hell, so I don't think you're even going to be seeing them on the camera. Let's see. And here's... This was a very exciting release for Limited One Games. I did buy the Asian version of this game. Now, the important thing to note about this game in the Asian version is... the only games that have actual English are the games that came out in English. Other than that, like the Samurai Age River City game, pure Japanese. Now this version that Limited One Games did of this collection translated all of those additional games. So this has all of those titles, which tons of River City games, River City Ransom games, in English now, that never came out in English. They probably had fan-made patches, probably, but yeah, nice collection now. So, sadly, they only did this on the Switch for this, which is a bit of a shame. I would have rather had a PS4 version, but hey, guess what can you do? If you want it all in English. So, I mean, technically I do have it on PS4, but it's not all in English. It might be available digitally, though, on PS4 that way, maybe, though. Oh, there's an interesting Switch game. Go get this one. Surviving the Aftermath. That sounds familiar. Surviving the Aftermath. That sounds familiar. Oh yeah, I forgot that music was playing in the background. Oh deal. Oh yes, I have that. Yes, I do got that. I have picked that up on a sale. So I have that on PS4. got on PS4. Already owned. So it's all good. Okay. I think this was a limited one game. Drival, don't know. Sadly, you know, some of these I don't know anything about. Now this is a shmup game. Yes, this might be something Pad knows about. This one has a very interesting cover. But screenshot-wise, not too big. I wish sometimes they would have bigger ones. Has a very interesting style to the art on the covers. But this might be something Pad knows about. He's a big shmup person, so. Then, here's something from Axis. I know everything. This is actually, I remember this now, except what I don't. So this is also a shmup game, a side-scrolling shmup game that Axis Games published. Got on sale and PlayAsia, and that, did I get on PlayAsia or Amazon? I don't know, I got somewhere on sale. But it's a side-scrolling shmup game and that, so. And then, of course, Live a Live. This was exciting to hear about getting a American physical release. I'm surprised they even made a physical one for us. I would have expected them to fucking do just digital. So this was exciting to see. So I know some people were disappointed because they did change some things from the SNES version because the waiting board. Most of it was more because the waiting board, though. Some of the things I seen for the localization in the Asian timeline. Those are probably more of the localization team problems that many of us are aware of. But some of the stuff like the panty armor that you could get in the SNES version being changed, that I can guarantee you was likely because they wanted to keep a lower age rating in Japan. What is your opinion about Surviving? Now, I haven't played it. It looked interesting, though. That's exactly why I picked it up. It looked very interesting. Kinda hyped. Oh, you will live? I have, on a shelf thing over, yonder that way. I actually have a cribbed version of the SNES copy. I did play the emulation version of it a long time ago, but I never beat it. So, definitely look forward to giving that a roll. They did change a number of things, so it's not a, if you want the absolute original experience, there is justifiable reason to probably still check out the SNES version because they did change how combat works with enemies a little bit, so, and change a few balancement things because of that. So, but that's a different subject now. There's an excellent video comparing those versions that you can look up on YouTube. Space Invaders, the Invincible Collection from Limited, not strictly limited, no strictly limited game. I think this has, let's see, this has the 1978 arcade, black and white, has the 1978 arcade color, has Space Invaders Part 2 from 1979 arcade, has Majestic 12, the Space Invaders Party 4 1990 arcade, Super Space Invaders 91 1990 arcade, Space Invaders Extreme 2008, Space Invaders Gigamax 4 SE 2018, Aquavoid vs Space Invaders 2016, Space Invaders DX 1994 arcade, Space Cyclone 1980 arcade, and Lunar Rescue 1979 arcade. That's a lot of arcade stuff. So, I didn't know there was so many fucking Space Invader games. I didn't know there was really anything past 2. So, I did know about that one remix thing that. Now, I know, any Harvest Moon person's always looking at this and they're like, no, burn it, file, burn it. We got invaded by space, kind of. So, one of the blasphemies, so again, we did mention this with Guilty Gear. Natsumi was originally the people who published Harvest Moon's series in America, and as time went on with Xseed, Marvelous was kind of like, why the fuck do we still have several of these companies with all fucking games when we have our own fucking company in America now? So they pull it back. However, Natsume would not give the title of Harvest Moon to them. They kept it. So they had to give the actual Harvest Moon games a new title in America, Story of Seasons. So anything that's past a certain point, which this is fake Harvest Moon games. Under it's this whole series is so fucked up now in America. So these games aren't a part of the actual original series that was known as Harvest Moon. But these are mostly all awful, these games that Natsume have placed under the Harvest Moon title. So this was $5 from deep discounts. And I was like, $5? I can do that. This looks like it's a shame you can't see how horrible this game looks from these little screenshots. This looks like a horrifyingly glorified Flash game. It looks horrible. But yes, I snagged a copy of that from deep discounts. I was like, sure, I'll continue the horrible franchise of the dragging of Harvest Moon's name through the mud for $5. So, why not? And there we go. Switch is done. Aside from maybe one box thing here. So, let's do a few of the oddity things. I did pick up for cheap Wolf Children, the Blu-ray for the anime. This is supposed to be very sad, so I bought that. Maybe watch it in actual VR with people. I knew it. You buy any trash for the right price. For the right price, sometimes I'll buy any trash. More so here's the week. Like this, as much as if it's a blasphemy, wearing the masked skin of what was Harvest Moon in America, it is sadly forever cursed to be mixed with the series because of it being called Harvest Moon. So, I am a person, when there's a series I like, I'll even get the bad ones. And sadly, because of the horrible mess this is all in, it's kind of hard to completely disassociate it. So, yeah. Now, when it comes to a bad, solo game, it's not associated with anything, it usually has to be interesting in some kind of fashion for me to want to get, just because there's something interesting about it. So moving on, this was only available in Europe of Atticusmj. So this character here might look familiar, this goblin-looking character, because he's had, I think, 3 or 2 other games, which one of them got a physical version, the other one forever remained digital, which is a shame. So this is, oddly enough, if I'm understanding correctly, the furthest in the timeline. The other games are prequels that take place before this, which is kind of weird. But yeah, I had never heard of this. And I saw this when I was looking up those Monster Hunter games. It's from the same seller. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I've never seen this cover. And I'm looking it up and I'm like, oh, interesting. So, I don't know if it's really good, to be honest, but it was really cheap. So, and I do have the PS4 version of the one that came physical that he's the main character in. So I was like, I guess why not? I have it, so why not? Might as well. Now here, if you are someone who keeps track of prices, you are having a heart attack probably right now. Well, maybe not a horrible heart attack, but you might be like, oh my fucking goodness. And the reason is for that 50-cent game. So, if you're not well, that 50-cent game is very expensive now. It's about like $70 cribbed, which this is cribbed. Though, oddly enough, for some reason, it has 2 booklets, though. I don't know why there were 2 booklets. There were 2 booklets, though. Maybe if I'm lucky, one booklet's worth $20, maybe. I don't know. The disc is not in the best of condition. It's definitely one of the better 360 games I've seen in the wild. I think it's buffable, but it does have some scratches on it that are not of my preferred preference. Okay, let me see what's on these pats here, guys. Skin now. Is that it? Just the skin? No tokens? No tokens? How could you? Oh, well, then. We'll go here. Boop, 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 boop. So is my Berserker available again? No. Okay, we'll put a Barbarian down. Okay, back to it. So, yeah. So, I saw this at GameStop. 50-cent blood. It's blood on the sand. So, this is a sequel to an original Xbox game, which I also have. I got that for giving my shipping stuff away. But, yeah. So, $14.99, I was like, you know, I might never see this game for a low price ever again. So, I figured I'll buy it. So, I picked it up. It is supposed to be a pretty meh game about just laughing at the fact that some third-person shooter with 50 cent in it. 50 cent is a cheap for a game. We only wish this was 50 cent. This is about $70 on eBay for this complete. So the $14.99 that I paid for it is a lot cheaper. Does 50 cent even do anything anymore, actually? I don't know the last time I even heard about fucking 50 cent, to be honest. And hey, Andy, welcome. These are one of my notorious little pickup videos that I usually do at the end of a stream after several months. But welcome, hello. You missed about half of the stuff. If that... Let's debate. You think I've went through half of the people who were here? You think I've went through about half of it? I think I'd say it's been about half of this shit. So we still got a lot of stuff here. I get way too much crap. I need more free time. So let's go through some other stuff here. So Shadows of Rome, this is a Capcom game I've been meaning to get. Got complete, I believe it has. Yes, has a booklet and everything. It's good condition. So went with that. Snagged the copy of that during the memorial sale. Bubble Bobble on PS1. It actually has the booklet and the back insert in it, so, but it does not have a PS1 case. I have to get that myself. But Bubble Bobble on the PS1, I was kind of like, I kind of need it. Really, I got it because I couldn't find anything else I wanted to get for the free game, so I was like, I'll just get that then. I don't have it. And then Kenshin 3, which I don't have. I've have Kenshin 1 and Kenshin 2 from Koei. I never got Kenshin 3, so I found this at a antique store of all places. So it's in good condition. It's complete. Yeah, for Bubble Bobble, I'll have to get one of my replacement cases. I have lots of replacement cases for PS1 stuff, so that'll be very easy to hook up. So, but yeah. Never got Kenshin 3. I don't think I even knew Kenshin 3 was a thing. So I was like, oh, sure, I'll snag that. Zip that up. So, sadly, this one Vita game I got does not have a case, which is a shame. But it goes for about $40 loose, and they had it for $19.99. So I was like, I don't have it. It's a ninja stealth game, so I figured I'd get it. So it will be very small and horribly blurry, probably, but Shinobi 2, which was a Bandai Namco game. So, I didn't have it, and I was like, a lot of Vita stuff is becoming really expensive, so, yeah, I think I'll buy it, because it's probably not going to get any cheaper, which is sad, but it's probably true. I do hate it being loose, though. They had, along with that 50 cent game, they had several Vita games, which was amazing. Oh yeah, there's lots of physical games. You never saw physical Vita games? Yeah, it's just a small little cartridge. Yeah, I'll get it out. If you never saw one. Yeah, they're physical. They exist. I know they're hard to find now, but yeah. I thought about looking into maybe buying all those Vita games they had, but I was like, I got lots of stuff I need to sell. I don't really feel like adding more crap. And besides, most of them were they were titles that were on both like PS4, PS3. They were multi-releases. There was only 2 other exclusive Vita games. That was the Killzone and the Uncharted game. Those were the only 2 other titles they had there that were exclusive to the Vita. All the other stuff were things that were, it was like the Capcom vs. Tekken, which is available on PS3. The Capcom versus Marvel 3, which is available on PS3 and PS4. So I was like, they might be worth something, but I don't know. I didn't feel like messing with them. They were all like $19.99. I didn't really feel like messing with them. Only PSP UMDs. Yeah, the Vita cartridges are much smaller than DS. So, speaking of DS, we do have some DS stuff. So, again, sadly, these are two loose ones, but the Monster Story 3DS game has been going up, and I never got it, and since now I have a little bit of interest in Monster Hunter again, I figured that I'd snag it. I did also get a copy, which has not came in yet. The seller says they are going to replace it because it seems like it might have got lost in the mail because it's been sitting in delay limbo from Walmart for ages. So I have to contact them to double check about that or get a refund or something. But still, the Monster Stories 2 is still okay price. But yeah, I'm basically went to get that. And something I got on a sale together was this Detective Pikachu and a really cheap copy of Animal Crossing, what is this one called? Happy House Designers, which was like the first entry to really change up Animal Crossing's gameplay in a long time. I had a DS Lite with it. Yeah. So, those two are sadly loose. I know, it's sad. We all hate loose stuff. Now, I have a very interesting story to tell you about this Pikachu. So, for some reason, the free shipping wasn't triggering when I was trying to buy this and the Animal Crossing and a pre-order game. So, I tried 2 copies of this, because here's what I thought. So, if I got 2 copies of this, I'd have a chance at getting a case, and I could just return the other copy, because they don't really ask or care or that. So, I got 2 copies of this in the Animal Crossing game, got the free shipping triggered. So, I got the 2 copies of this. So, this one that's actually in this case was the loose copy. The one that did come with this case originally had a hole. I took out the case, the game. It had a little hole punctured through the back of the cartridge. I'm like, sweet, now I have a good excuse to return one. So I put the one that was in here in the little plastic case that the loose one came in and returned it. Now here's what's interesting. So the loose one in the little plastic thing had a barcode thing with the price on it. So these on the website were $9. But the sticker on it was not $9. It was a lot higher. I'm not going to tell the price. But when I returned it, they went by the sticker. They basically made this and that Animal Crossing game free. Like, the whole process was basically free to me. Like, it was crazy. I was like... And the sad thing is, I literally had my receipt. They didn't look at it. They just scanned the sticker. And I was like, holy shit. That was stupid. But oh well. It was my favor. Whatever. Now, a crypt copy of Etra Odyssey 5. I actually have a loose copy. And Video Games Plus got a bunch of sealed copies. And I was like, fuck it. I like Extra Odyssey. I want a complete version. Buy it. It's mine. Tetris DS. This is a really good version of Tetris. I think this was the last Tetris Nintendo had anything to do with. I got this for $5 at the thrift store. It's complete. Has everything. Very nice. Also got Ridge Racer from the same thrift store. Not as amazing. Oh, wait, what? Wait. This is whale? Is it what does this go for? I got it for $5. This is whale now? Oh my goodness. See, I can't keep up with all this shit. I'll buy something and it got recalled. What? I'll have to look into that. What? Got recalled. I didn't know that. What the hell? You sure you're not talking about the NES release? I mean, the NES release by Atari got recalled. I don't know. So, last window. This is the German version of this, but it does have English. This is the sequel to, what was it called? Crap. Does it mention it on the back? Crap, I can't remember what it was called. What was the first game called? I don't remember. This is very expensive now. Oh, well, I mean, it has English on it. Like, its last window and the rest of it, though. You can see, like, the top part there has English and then some other languages and that. So, it has English on it. But, I don't know why they made the rest of that, though, and whatever with that, but in your hands, the story develops. Yeah. So, this is a visual novel thing where you hold the DS like a book. I can't remember the life of me with the original. We got the original in America, but we didn't get the sequel. Only Europe got the sequel. So, this was starting to go up in price, so I snagged a copy. It is cribbed. The German version was the cheapest I could find, so I went with it as much as I know it was going to get this horrible fucking thing on it. I hate it so much. Tetris only going for like $20-30. Guess people don't know it's whale yet. I'll have to look up that. I never heard about that. Okay, we still got, oh my gosh, so much. I'm so sorry about so much stuff here, Andy. So much. But we still got lots of things here. So, Made in Abyss. This I've been looking forward for quite a while. I look forward to hopefully getting to play this very soon. I've been waiting to watch the anime because I wanted to play this game first. Because I was afraid watching the anime would spoil the game more. So, I wanted to try and keep surprises in the game. So, I'm hoping to put this into me playing in soon, hope. Oh, you didn't know it? Yeah, this came out... I think it came out at the end of September, I believe. I believe it came at the end of September. So, yeah, it's supposed to be kind of a survival kind of thing. It's supposed to have, I believe, two kind of storylines. It has one that follows the anime, and then there's apparently one where it follows you with a character you create, I believe, if I remember correctly. So, but yes, I'm looking forward to playing this, because William has been very impatient about wanting to watch the anime, and I'm like, I don't want to spoil the game experience, because, you know, it's like, oh, I'm on layer 5, I know what I'm gonna run into, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it kind of ruins the surprise of what I'm going to see on the layers and shit, you know. You get what I mean? But, yeah. So, let's see. Final Vendetta. This was a Numbskull in Limited 1 release. This is another kind of Streets of Rage kind of thing. It looks really good, in my opinion. So, hopefully one day I can pop that in for a quick playthrough. I always enjoy a very good beat-em-up. Ever Forward, I believe... Was this a retail release? I can't remember. Because... the thing is, limited one games, there's so many distribution titles now, and it's starting to get hard to remember which ones, or sometimes, because they don't usually put the logo on the distribution titles, because some of these come to retail. I'm not really familiar with this entry. It looks like it's kind of like an artsy kind of game, so it might be good, might be kind of kind of hard to say sometimes. This one I got on sale on Amazon, Iron Harvest 1920 Complete Edition. This is an RTS game, so this does have a PS4 version, but it's not complete. This has everything on it, supposedly. So I think it was like $10 or something, so I was like, sure. One day I'll get a PS5. One day. Then Safu. This is supposed to be some kind of martial arts game. I heard a lot of buzz about it from a lot of people on Twitter or that. Don't really know much about it. I got it on a sale. I think it was like $15 of that, so. Let's see. This was another limited one games. The Cyanide Happiness Freak Octopus Episode 1 Hall Pass to Hell. So this is supposed to be a point and click style game set in the Cyanide Happiness. It's supposed to have shitloads of Easter eggs and stuff, so I look forward to trying this out. And the fact that it's an episode 1 means that it will probably have a bunch of other funny entries, hopefully, if it does well, I imagine. I have not watched any playthroughs of it. Again, something don't want to spoil, especially the kind of humor, if you know. Then, speaking earlier of Harvest Moon, we have one of the weird spin-offs of now what is the original series Story of Seasons crossover with a anime from Japan. If you're very familiar with anime in Japan, you will probably be very familiar with these characters because it is a very beloved children's cartoon in Japan. Fun fact, the original series has shitloads of episodes that are lost media because they weren't preserved. So, fun fact there, in case you weren't aware. So, but this is a Harvest Moon style game by the creators of the original series. Yes, if you didn't know, there's a lot of episodes in the original series of this anime that were lost. Yes, well, the original anime was in black and white, the Dark Ages, where a lot of people are like, okay, it's done, throw it in the garbage. It is a lot of kids. I imagine if anyone found lost episodes of this shit, it'd be worth fortune, I imagine. Because, I mean, this is a very beloved anime in Japan. I've never watched it personally, but I'm very familiar with the cast. Because it's almost impossible to go anywhere in Japan not seeing the fucking character. Because it is a very beloved anime in Japan. So, and apparently they announced a sequel to this. So, they also did a Story Seasons crossover with Popolope, which is a JRPG that was on PlayStation and got a butchered PSP version, but that got a 3DS version of that. So they've been doing some crossover things with Story Seasons, but they do have actual Story Seasons games too of that, you know. No wonder it was such a wholesome character design. I'm trying to remember one of the voice actors for the blue main character. Crap, they voiced Manami. That's what it is. They voiced Manami in Danganronpa 2, I believe. They were, or was it Monokuma? Was it Monokuma? It was one of the two. It was either Monokuma or Manami from Danganronpa. One of the voice actors that did the little blue character did the voice acting for one of them. I think maybe it was Monokuma now I think about it. I don't quite know. Though I think they didn't do it for 3 for some reason. I think they were scaling back on voice acting or something like that. Can't quite remember. Ooh, I need a drink. It's been like an hour and 30 minutes, man. Ooh, Al Waddle. Time to speed one. Let's go. Speed 1! Evil Dead, the game. Got for about $5 off that Best Buy arrow thing. got. It's multiplayer online only. Don't really know. I think it's supposed to be kind of like Dead by Daylight, so it might be interesting to play a little bit of, but I haven't really watched anyone fucking actually play it, so I don't know much about it, to be honest. But hey, I was like $5 short, why not? Zombie. This is a port of Zombie Wii U without the multiplayer zombie mode that was an extra to the storyline. This was only available digitally in America on PS4. Of course, you could get the Wii U version, which I did get very cheap. It was one of my only Wii U titles, but this was really cheap on PlayAsia. I was like, maybe. So I grabbed a copy. Maybe I'll play through that. I did actually play a good chunk of the Zombie Wii U though, without Light Gun makes no sense. I don't know much about the original zombie game. Wasn't it like a PC game or something? I watched a video about it, but anyway, moving on. We have the Asian release of the Wii Shine collection of trying to remember the maiden's name. What was her name? I'm trying to remember because I got the Asian version. It has no English on it, but it does have English in this, so I can't. What was her name? Dang it, Pad, help me. Pocky and Wacky. Raccoon was Wacky, but I was trying to. What was it? But yes. So this was originally a SNES game, which is very expensive. The last time I ever looked it up. This has new characters. It's like a whole widened screen redone thing of the whole game and shit. Now I bought the Asian version because they did censorship to this character on the cover, which is one of the new characters. She is actually pulling historical character to mythology in Japan, and she was censored. Her mythology was censored. So I was like, fuck the English version, then. I'm going to get the Asian version that has English on it anyway, but not the censorship. So, yeah. This is a very nice co-op game. Yeah, basically her mythology has to do with seducing other gods with her bosoms. And so her art kinda leaves a little to imagine. You don't see anything, but there's a lot more cleavage, and they severely covered that up. So it's what? It's literally part of her mythology of her stories. They talk about appropriating and fucking up cultures. And it's the only people who care are the gamers, and it's stop whining, gamer, who cares? But anyway, that's talking about knuckleheads. Anyway, moving on, speedrunning. Neo Abyss, limited one release, I believe, if I remember quickly. I think it was a distribution title, so. Heaven. This, I don't know, it has very interesting looking artwork. It was a limited one game. You are a duo, a guy and a girl. I'm not sure if they're in a relationship or anything. Looked kind of nice from what I saw, so might be interesting. Something Lex would probably play. Voomba. First Blood. You're a Woomba, apparently. Some kind of weird game where you're a Woomba or some shit. I don't really know. It seems like a very silly game, so probably something Lex would probably like. Killer Woombas! Epic Chef! Got this for sale on Amazon. It's some kind of crafting chef kind of game. It has a very weird style to the characters. They're very blocky and stuff. Looks kind of interesting. Got really cheap. Was like $10, so I was like, sure, I'll give it a try. Looks interesting. Wambo fake from China. Super Land. I think this is just a platformer. It was a limited one title. Kind of meh. Go. We're going the hour 40 minutes. Gotta go. Now here's a title that might get me to look into a PS5 sooner. Outer World Definitive Edition. This is the Japanese version. It has the zero waiting. It's Japanese version. It does have English on it though. So this is a complete edition. It has everything on it. So this was sold to me as a gigantic open world Dark Souls crafting game. So it's basically a different thing of Elden Ring. So, told it's pretty interesting of that. So, I snagged a copy, and yeah, look forward to trying that if I ever get a PS5 anytime soon. Traded in some of my packing material, Zombieland Double Tap. It's a top-down, like, twin-stick shooter. Supposed to be pretty meh, so that was a good way to get that. Is the disc loosen though? Oh, yes, I forgot about that. We have another loose 3DS game. I forgot. That was in there so it didn't get lost. Lego City for the 3DS. I also got that for packing material. So, into the slip you go. Let's see, when you opening a video game store so we can put all this on sale? Wouldn't you love that? You'd probably buy all my PS1, Sega Saturn stuff. Let's see, Agents of Mayhem. I already had the Xbox One version. Got this for packing material. I'd rather get on PlayStation 4, honestly. Cybernash. I'm not trying to. Below Zero. This was again for the Best Buy $5 thing on sale, so I was like, sure. It's supposed to be a sequel, so I need to get the original. Let's see. Blacksmith of the Sand Kingdom. This is a Kimco, that's it. Kimco, which does a lot of JRPG mobile games. Looking at the visuals, this one's kind of looks kind of average. Some of them looked interesting, some of them have been interesting, so it's kind of Pointing at GameStack, Atticus turns into big MVP screaming, "Look at me! Do I have them all? Do I have them all?" So I never heard of this PlayStation VR game. It apparently only came out in PAL territories. You were like a samurai dude in VR, so I was like, sure, I'll buy that. I got that from eBay. Another limited one games, the Castlevania Requiem, which has the Wonder of Blood and Symphony of Night, which I imagine the Symphony of Night has the new voice acting. Ugh. What is a man without crappy localization? That memes it up. Should just sell everything in no. Why would I want to invest in NFTs? My goodness, what a waste. That's a horrible idea. Let's see, Wabs in there. It's Wet Art Games, kind of a meh. You wonder why as a robot blowing shit up through stages. Looks kind of meh, but it got lucky on a day where I was just picking up some extra titles. I need some to get free shipping, so I was like, I guess. Now this, which I did get with it, this actually looked interesting. This is another Wet Arts title. It has a very nice pixel art look. It looks like a kind of an NES platformer kind of thing. It definitely looks very nice to me. I like the aesthetics of the NES kind of look it's pulling off. So this one, I definitely look forward to giving a try. Oh my goodness, the stack on the floor looks like it's ready to collapse. NFTs are evil. I don't care if they're the future. Fine, buy a country in the meta. You know, here's something sad about that. I saw a clip on Twitter where somebody's like, I can't afford a house. I was told I would have to spend this much to buy a house. But I spent less, half of the price to get a house in the metaverse. And I'm like, oh, Lord. Oh, no. Why? Fuck. Buy a country in real life instead. That'd at least be more useful. Adventures of Chris. Looks kind of flashy, like it's a Wet Arts title, but it's kind of fucking weird at the same time, so I thought maybe there might be some good humor out of it. It's a weird kid that gets, like, blown up like a balloon by some villain, and instead it gives him superpowers. So it's kind of like, it's weird and different, so maybe it might be interesting. But graphically, it does look a little flashy. Mirror's Edge Catalyst I got for $5 at a pawn shop. So, Sequel to Mirror's Edge. I do have a PS3 version of Mirror's Edge. Never got the sequel, so I was like, $5, sure, why not? Iron Man VR recently just got announced for the new Meta Quest Pro whatever fucking thing. I mean, I'm sure it works on normal Quest, I imagine, too, since that's supposed to be for, like, really expensive, crazy people, but it kind of got announced with it, that. Either way, though, I got this with the buy for $20 at GameStop thing. I actually got this for a deal, because this wasn't supposed to be on sale, because it was supposed to be games that were $9.99 or below. This was apparently 12 or 15 still, but it was in the bin with multiple copies, so they very nicely dumbed it down to $9.99, so I kind of actually got for a discount on top of that, so that was kind of nice. Let me get this star deal. Gotta continue speed one. Gotta go, 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 go. Even though they're kind of limited, let's see. Islands are surprisingly cheap, even though they're kind of limited in the amounts. I don't just grow new. Yeah. Ukulele also got from the same thing. Buy full for $20. I never got the original ukulele. I know a lot of people are pretty meh about it. Mainly the camera. Like a lot of people complain about the camera in it. That is quite meh. So I never really got into Banjo-Kazooie in that, so but I can give it a try one day, maybe one day out there we could give it a try. See, there's like 2 robot things over here, so probably could put there. Okay. Another title from the buy for $20, Nobunaga's Ambition, so I never got this, so I was like, sure, why not? I need something else. I like some strategy games. Then we got the last few things that were in unique boxes. This was a limited one, Shifters, the collector's edition from Numbskull Limited One Games. Some kind of racing game. It looks like you get guns and shit, so might actually be fun. I kind of like silly shit like that. Play Asia release. I think it's just called Wife Quest. Yes. So, this. I'm not sure if I should talk about this kind of game with Andy, or the kind of game it's parodying, I should say. This game is not mature, but the kind of games it's making fun of are mature. It's kind of weird how Islands can be so cheap, even though their amount is limited and not growing. They are more rare than gold wife quest. Okay, so I'm gonna be real. We're going to have a little talk about Japanese hentai games a little. So there's a type of like side-scrolling Metroidvania style of hentai games where, like, if your character, like, loses all their life, you get, like, a sex scene or that. So, this game does not have that kind of thing, but it's making fun of that kind of thing, because you're playing as a wife of the husband being kidnapped by monsters, and you kick their asses at. So, it's, like, making fun of those type of games, but this isn't that type of game, so... But for those who are a little cultured into the, excuse me, throat's getting a little dry. If you're a little cultured in that side of Japanese games, this is supposed to parody a lot of that. So, but it's supposed to be a pretty simple game. Yeah, your husband gets kidnapped by this this snake lady here, so yeah, see, you can see him tangled up in the corner. Has a very retro look, no screenshots on the box though, so it's very pixelated retro look. Let's see, then Song of Horror. This was a limited one release, supposed to be spooky game. Well, you know, like I said, those kind of games have a lot of monsters and, you know, I don't want to get into too much details. Look them up. Do your own research. Now, this I got for $9. This is on PS4, but this was used. It's a steel book version with an art book of that. It was only $9 for the memorial sale, so it's Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance. I don't know if this was really well received or not, but I was like, sure. I needed something to get for free, so I was like, sure, why not? And then I think this was the Switch version of this, Disc Room, which is a puzzle game where you're like stuck in rooms with giant saw blades and you gotta dodge them and shit. This was a special reserve release, so I'm pretty sure this was on. I'm pretty sure this is a Switch version of this. I don't think they did a PS5 version, if I remember correctly. Oh man, I desperately need a drink. Really bad. Ooh. So dry. I should have got another bottle of water. And there we are. An hour and 49 minutes. Oh, so many pickups. Good lord. So many pickups. Oh, dang it. Anyway. Whew. I need to go take a break with my voice, so